Major pandemics in history and their social impacts. There are moments in world history that change the lives of millions of people, shake societies, and determine the course of history. Pandemics are one of these moments. From the Black Death to the Spanish flu, from modern-day epidemics to COVID-19, these deadly diseases have shaped not only bodies, but also economies, belief systems, and even the fate of civilizations. So how did the greatest pandemics in history begin? How did humanity respond to these crises? And most importantly, are we ready for the next great pandemic? Let's take a journey into the depths of the past together. 1. From Antiquity to the Middle Ages. The first great pandemics. The Plague of Athens, 430 to 426 BC. It emerged during the Peloponnesian War. Although its cause is not known for certain, it is thought to have been typhus or smallpox. It wiped out almost a third of the population of Athens and changed the course of the war. The Antonine Plague, 165 to 180 AD. An epidemic, most likely smallpox, brought by soldiers to the Roman Empire, caused the deaths of millions of people. The Justinian Plague, 541 to 542 AD. This epidemic, considered a precursor to the Black Death, paralyzed the Byzantine Empire. Even Emperor Justinian caught the disease but survived. It is estimated that it killed 50 million people in Europe and Asia. 2. The Black Death, the epidemic that changed Europe. The Black Death, 1347 to 1351. The plague that wiped out one-third of the European population changed people's religious beliefs and social order. Artistic movements such as the Dance of Death emerged during this period. Conspiracy theories and scapegoats. Jews, witches, and different religious groups were seen as responsible for the epidemic. Jews, who were alleged to have poisoned wells, were massacred in Europe. Economic and social effects. The decrease in the labor force increased the bargaining power of the peasants and accelerated the collapse of the feudal order. 3. Smallpox, the epidemic that destroyed empires. The end of the Aztec and Inca empires, 16th century. Smallpox, brought to the Americas by European explorers, caused the collapse of the Aztec and Inca civilizations. Diseases rather than wars wiped out the native population. First use of biological weapons. There is documentation that the British gave blankets infected with smallpox to Native Americans. This may be one of the first examples of biological warfare in history. 4th, 19th and 20th century. Cholera and Spanish flu, cholera epidemics, 1817 to 1923. This disease, transmitted through water sources, led to the development of modern hygiene and sewage systems. Spanish flu, 1918 to 1920. It ravaged the world at the end of World War I and caused the death of 50 million people. The flu painted a different picture by targeting young and healthy people. Conspiracy theories. At the time, claims were made that this virus could be a biological weapon. It was also said that governments were deliberately slow to announce the spread of the disease. 5. Modern pandemics, HIV, SARS, COVID-19, and fears about the future. HIV/AIDS, 1980s present. Initially seen as a disease targeting homosexual communities, it caused great social stigma. However, over the years, medical advances have reduced the death rate. SARS and MERS. These viruses, the precursors of COVID-19, showed how vulnerable the modern world is to pandemics. COVID-19 and New World Order conspiracy theories. Is this global crisis that began in 2020 an excuse for governments to strengthen their control mechanisms, or did it really occur naturally? Anti-vaxxers and conspiracy theorists are still debating these questions. 6. Future pandemics. Is humanity ready? Lab escape theories. Many people think that viruses leaking from laboratories in the future will cause new pandemics, biological weapons, and the global balance of power. Are pandemics not just health crises, but also an opportunity for geopolitical events? Humanity's race against the immune system. Are new pandemics inevitable? How is the scientific world preparing for future pandemics? History shows us that pandemics are not just a health issue, but create major transformations that deeply affect societies and cultures. While the plague radically changed Europe in the Middle Ages, the Spanish flu in the 20th century even influenced the course of world wars. Today, COVID-19 has shaken economies and accelerated the digital age. So, is the next major pandemic upon us? Are we truly ready as humanity? Only time will tell the answers to these questions. But there is one thing we do know. History will always continue to teach us important lessons.